Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily. All right, so today is May 10th and it's actually Lupus Awareness Day. So we are about to have a conversation on this, autoimmune disease that has been so misunderstood. We're going to be listening to an expert and also listening to a doctor to explain everything that we need to know about lupus. So in the studio with me is Dr. Jifade, a consultant rheumatologist, KBTH, senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical School and director TIR. And we have Gloria Araba Dennis, who is a lupus survivor. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How's everything?
Very good.
You're welcome to Breakfast Daily right now. So, lupus.
Yes.
I know it's an autoimmune disease.
Okay.
But can you explain further how this autoimmune disease, works or spreads or how it just comes about?
So lupus is a short form of a long name. We call Systemic Lupus Erythematosus.
Systemic
Lupus Erythematosus. Some people call it SLE, some lupus for short. So we say it's an autoimmune disease, meaning a disease whereby the immune system, instead of protecting you, fights against itself. And out of these diseases, we have various types, some that attack certain organs, so they are localized, and some that attack multiple organs. We call those systemic. Lupus falls under those systemic type of autoimmune diseases, meaning in that confused state where the immune system, instead of protecting you, starts attacking you. It can attack in systemic disease any part of the body, from the top of the head to the soles of the feet, and any organ in between can be attacked by the immune system, and that is what lupus is.
Wow. So what are some common symptoms of lupus?
Okay. So lupus, because of the multiple organs that it can affect, would manifest symptoms depending on the organ that it affects. But generally, we say we have certain symptoms we call constitutional symptoms. A lot of people would experience fatigue, weight loss, sweating in the night, unexplained joint pains, especially early in the morning. Some people will lose hair, some people will lose or change texture or color of their skin. It's a classic rash that we call the Miller rash, where there's a rash that appears across the cheeks and spreads over the nose to the other side. Because of the appearance of it, they call it the butterfly rash. So that's one of the classic rashes that you may see. It is not seen in everybody, but it's one of the things once you spot it, that may give you a diagnosis. Some people will lose their hair, so if people, you are losing hair for unexplained reasons, that may be some of the symptoms. When it affects certain organs, then you may have symptoms that may then tell you that this organ is affected. So if the kidney is affected, for example, you may experience swelling of the feet, swelling around the eyes as well. That may alert you to that.
Wow.
Some people may have...
It goes all the way to the kidney?
Any organ in between, I said. So the brain, people come with seizures, personality changes. So sometimes even, people have a patient who presented at the psychiatric unit, and all she was experiencing was sleeping every day from morning to evening, until somebody recognized the rash and realized that, no, this is lupus. We have people who present just with seizures. People present with fluid around the heart because it's attacking the heart. And so it can attack any organ on the body.
Right. Now, some of these symptoms that you just mentioned sounds very similar to different, health issues.
Exactly.
You understand? So what are some of the challenges in, diagnosing lupus? Because it sounds like any other disease, illness or disease. So what are some of the challenges? So
that's what you've said is very true. So we call lupus a disease with 1,000 faces because it can manifest as anything at all, any organ. So we have patients who come from multiple specialties. That is what makes diagnosis difficult. You have to have a high index of suspicion. That is why we raise awareness, because the knowledge, not only to the general public, but even to the health professionals, is very important for you to be able to recognize that this symptom in this young person of this certain age might be lupus. So awareness is key. Once you are aware, you may piece things together. On average, across the world, even in developed countries, it takes an average of about 4 years before people make a diagnosis of lupus because of the limited knowledge that people have, or the high index of suspicion that people have about this disease.
Wow, wow. And I think I agree with you now when you say it's actually different for different people, because I know one girl came out on social media last time and said she had lupus and it was on her skin.
Yes.
And now one of the biggest stars, Selena Gomez, that we know in America, her own,
Exactly.
yeah,
Kidney
it's just,
involvement.
yeah, she's just getting bigger and bigger, you understand, but nothing on her skin.
No, because she has kidney involvement, actually. She's had a transplant because it's attacked her kidneys. And she's growing bigger because of the medications that she's using, the steroids. That is what is making her grow bigger.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, Gloria. Hi, Gloria.
Hi.
Well, you are a survivor, so can you share your story with us? And how did it start, and how did you know it was lupus, and how was it going?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. So mine started at a younger age. Unlike the usual age, 15 to 44, my symptoms started when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in primary, I was getting sick all the time, especially experiencing symptoms of extreme weakness. And then I had skin involvement, and then my bones especially, I was having swelling in my fingers, and then it spread to any and every other joint. It was making school very difficult.
Yeah.
And so it took about 3 years. So by the age of 13, my initial diagnosis was rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh.
Yes, juvenile chronic arthritis because of my age.
Right.
And so I was being managed on that until the age of 17. Towards the my final year, things got very bad. I was very sick. I was in hospital at that time, and through tests, it was finally found to be lupus. So actually, it's been 20 years now, 20 years plus, that I've been, it's actually lupus. It was actually found to be lupus.
Right. So do you still feel some of the symptoms? And if you do, how are you managing it?
Well, mine is quite visible. It's affected my skin, my joints, my kidney, and so with the medication, like doctor said, you are able to be well managed. So I'm doing well. It's only that it's visible. You can see that I have lupus, but by God's grace and with the medications I'm on, when you're able to be on these medications and go for your regular reviews, that's when the doctors are able to know that and monitor the condition so that it doesn't get any worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to anyone that is going through, this autoimmune disease right now?
Well, you wouldn't know, like doctor said, because the symptoms will only present itself. I was managed until I was told it was rheumatoid. I was being given malaria medication. I was taking calcium all the time. The doctor at the time did well. I was on chloroquine, normal chloroquine, until I came and I was told it was rheumatoid, and then eventually the lupus. And so I'll just advise that when you see anything unusual, luckily for me, I was a child, and so I was being monitored. It was seen that I was always sleeping, I was always weak, I was almost always in hospital, admitted. And so it was able to be traced and monitored that this is actually lupus. And even that took 8 years, approximately 8 years to be told it's actually lupus. And so when you see symptoms, you don't waste any time. Because it is when you waste the time that, or not necessarily waste it, it is when the time prolongs that makes the situation critical.
Yeah, and it gets
yes,
worse.
and it gets worse. And it makes treating the condition quite hard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's Lupus Awareness Month, and today is also Lupus Awareness Day. What does this mean to you as a survivor?
Actually, it brought back so many memories of the journey I've been through. It's not been easy. 20 years from primary, secondary school, people see you, they really don't understand. It was difficult to come out, the stigma and all that. You really don't know how to tell your friends that this is it. And I was young and I had to face the world with my skin people see you, they really don't, is it contagious? Are you bent? You know, Ghanaian culture, people want to tell you, oh, this, I know this, you can use this,
that,
and all
use that.
It wasn't easy, but by God's grace, you know, it has given me strength. Because I think it's not easy to come out, even like this, but I've grown confident, and it's not through any, it's been God through this journey. It hasn't been an easy one. Yeah.
So Dr. Day, she talked about, you know, how people react sometimes, and everybody wants to give their advice because everybody becomes a doctor at once. What are some of the misconceptions of lupus?
Gloria mentioned one. People think that it is contagious. It is not contagious. In fact, what she mentioned the appropriate age group. It's something we see between the ages of 15 to 44 years. It is not really inherited, even though there's a genetic component, and an environmental factor comes to trigger the condition from coming. So it is not something that you even inherit directly from your parents or your family. But because your genes are similar, people may have autoimmune diseases in the family. So it's not, if you get married to someone who has lupus, doesn't mean directly your children are going to have, which is also some misconception people have. We also have, I'm happy Gloria has told the story of how she's lived for 20 years. People have a misconception as well that once you get lupus, you are going to die. Lupus is a syndrome. There are people who have very, very mild symptoms. Some people come with very severe symptoms. No two lupus patients are the same. So if you see something on the internet and say, oh, this person had this, so that means no. You have to be evaluated properly and treated according to you, what we call personalized medicine now.
So, yes, but how can people support, you know, survivors of lupus, especially when it comes to relatives, family, friends, colleagues, everyone around?
So again, Gloria mentioned something about the stigma. I feel like people coming out and telling their stories gives hope to people that this is not a condition that you get and you die. It's just like having hypertension and diabetes. It's a chronic disease. You take medications, things will be fine, you survive. If you delay, it causes damage, and then that's when you see the worst effects of it. Just like any chronic disease, we need to make that open to everybody. That is a chronic disease that is treatable or manageable. It's not curable, but we can treat and manage it properly for you to have a good quality of life. Support is very important.
So how is your support system like?
Yeah, so I'll even use this opportunity to thank my family. It has been a family journey. Yes. So my mom, my family, especially my mom, my primary caregiver, and especially my dad too, financially, he's been my chief financier to date, because the medications are expensive, the routine labs, because it's a lifelong something. Until a cure is brought out, you have to take your medications daily, and I've been on this 20 years now, so you can imagine the financial strain on the family. Thank God I'm working and I'm able to support, but even still, the drugs are expensive, depending on the organs involved. The labs are routine, so that the doctor will be able to know that it's not affecting any other organ. If you don't come in on time, that's when doctor will be able to know that it's not just the kidney, it's going to the skin, it's going to it's going to the brain. Yes, so these, they don't come cheap. They are very expensive. So the support system has been good. My friends have been there, because in school, I couldn't write notes. My fingers were all involved. So they were there to support me. They made me feel okay. Because if you don't have that, it makes everything more difficult. There are situations where people will maybe put you aside, but I had more support than that. Yes, and
but let's talk about your workplace. You said you work.
Yes, I do work.
How is the support there? And do they understand? Do you educate them?
It hasn't been easy in that regard, but I want to also thank my superior, because I have to be at hospital sometimes, and I've not been told that you can't go to hospital because maybe you have to do this. Anytime I seek permission, I'm given the opportunity to attend clinic, or if I'm sick and I call in sick, I don't have any challenge there. So the support at work too has been good, especially with my superiors who give me the opportunity to do that.
Yes. Thank you. So Dr. Dame, you know, I don't know if it's an African thing or maybe a worldwide thing. As human beings, when the doctor comes and say, look, you have this, your heart just flies away. That's just the end. You know, you've already prepared your obituary in your head. You're like, no, oh God, I'm going to die. So what advice would you give to someone that, you know, that has been recently diagnosed of lupus?
Okay. So what we always say is keep calm and find as much information as possible.
Keep calm.
And find as much. For our rheumatology team, we also have an organization called the Rheumatology Initiative. We recognize that, so we provide them a lot of support. Once you are diagnosed in our clinic, a nurse counsels you, gives you ample time to come back and ask questions. We have a support group for young people, adult people, because they have different needs.
Oh, in Ghana, a support group?
Oh, yes. We've
Great.
been working for the past 10 years plus to help you to navigate that process. Find peers, because most of the time people have heard about the condition for the first time, because people don't talk about it.
Right.
And so you're like, am I the only one with this condition? Knowing that there are other people who are going through, there's people who have lived 20 years, 30 years. We have someone who has been with it for 50 years, even with kidney involvement. We know that they can live. It gives you hope that this is not a death sentence, that there's hope. So those are the things that you need to. Education, so you know how to manage yourself, your flares and so on are very important.
Right.
The reason our team for this year is looking forward by giving back. We try to raise funds to support patients who have challenges at the beginning. People come with emergency organ involvement, and within that short phase of time, if you do not treat them early, an organ can be damaged. So emphasis on early diagnosis and early treatment. We try to offer that support. If we help everybody, the cost of lupus comes down, the long-term effects come down. In the past, if you had lupus, yes, within 10 years, your life expectancy would be 95% you will die. But now with good treatment, 95% will live, you understand? So the emphasis is diagnosing early, treating early, and not being afraid. That there's hope, really. That is what I would say.
Okay, so how can people reach out to you or the Rheumatology Initiative, or if they want to donate or want to help? Yeah.
So we are organizing a fundraising drive. They can donate to 054 408 9065 or Momo number.
All right, let's repeat it again.
054 408 9065. And they can contact us as well if you have any problems on that number. If you think you have a rheumatological condition and you want support in terms of clinic, seeking health professionals and so on, or joining the support group. We also are on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as Try Ghana, TRI Ghana. You find all activities that we are doing, educational materials for patients, doctors, the general public. And so you can find resources that will help you to navigate this journey.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you. I mean, this is a very important conversation for us to have. I mean, we get to learn every day, and I'm hoping that people out there also learn from this conversation and unlearn certain perspectives that they have about, you know, different things going on. Anyway, thank you so much, Gloria. It was really nice talking to you too, and I want to wish you the best in all you do, and I pray that everything goes smoothly for you.
Indeed.
I'm hoping to see you next time.
Yeah,
and
sure.
if you're doing anything, just let us know.
We will.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we've been having a conversation on lupus awareness, and because today is May 10th, and May 10th is actually Lupus Awareness Day, and we can take the whole May as Lupus Awareness Month too, because it's autoimmune disease that has been, you know, fueled with so many misconceptions, because we do not just understand how it works, because it's happening differently with patient A. Patient B has something else, so everybody's confused. But we're glad that we had this conversation, and I hope that you enjoyed the conversation too. We've been speaking to Dr. Jifa Day, consultant rheumatologist, KBTH, and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical Center, and also director TRI. And Gloria Araba Dennis, who is a lupus survivor. This has been a great one. Remember to be kind to everybody, because you don't know what you're going through.